welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another massive fragrance haul. You guys know I can't control myself and I buy a lot of fragrances. Fragrances can be very powerful, you know, I mean, it's kind of like an accessory. So I kind of just justify it that way. It's like buying an accessory, you know, like a very sexy hidden accessory that you can only smell, right? I have a bunch of really fabulous fragrances, you guys, and I also have 2 dossier fragrances to share with you today. So if you guys want to see what they are and my thoughts on them, just keep watching. Guys, I'm going to announce the giveaway winner finally. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry it's been longer than expected to announce the giveaway winner. I don't know, you guys, I got caught up on so much work. My life is so busy, it's not even funny. And you put YouTube on top of it, forget about it. But anyway, I thought it would be nice to announce the winner in this video because in this video I'm talking about a couple of dossier fragrances as well. So I thought it would be a good match, so I waited. However, I actually announced the giveaway winner on Instagram first, you guys. Like I always say, I announce things on Instagram first. So the giveaway winner, if you guys remember, gets to pick any dossier fragrance from their website. So if you guys want to hear who won, stay until the end of the video. So you guys, in the usual way, I'm first going to talk about the 2 dossier fragrances I have. As you guys know, Dossier is a fragrance company that creates amazing fragrances inspired by very, very famous, very expensive designer and niche fragrances, you guys. It's a risk-free system where you can test out fragrances and return whatever you don't like. So the first dossier fragrance I have here is Woody Rum, inspired by Kilian Straight to Heaven, which is a fragrance that I've always been interested in that I never really bought. So I wanted to get the dossier version and see what it smells like. So this is what the packaging looks like, and here's the informational card as usual. You guys, it smells super good. It's a little bit boozy. It's a very boozy fragrance. Obviously, rum is a note in here. There's patchouli, of course. This is a patchouli heavy fragrance. By the way, if you don't like patchouli, you're not gonna like the original Straight to Heaven or this one. I know some people don't like patchouli, but I don't mind. I think patchouli is beautiful depending on how you have it, you know, blended in the fragrance composition. And this also has a massive dose of amber, same in the original Kilian Straight to Heaven. There's rum, there's patchouli, there's a massive dose of amber, there's vanilla. So the original has like a big dose of woody notes. One of the woody notes is cedar. There's a good dose of rum, which is where the booziness comes from. There's a very prominent patchouli note in the original, which, like I said, it's not a dirty patchouli, it's a beautiful patchouli that mixes well with boozy accords and gourmand accords. There's a beautiful dried fruit note in the original, you guys, to die for. The original has, you know, spice notes like nutmeg, kind of like soft spicy notes. There's musk, there's a massive dose of vanilla, of course. There's a massive dose of amber, like I said, and there's jasmine in the original. And this version also has rum and dried fruits, you guys, and nutmeg for soft spice. Edible quality of the original is there from the dried fruits in this one too, and of course the rum with the boozy accord. And this also has jasmine, cedarwood, and vanilla, just like the original. And it also has amber, patchouli, and sandalwood in the base, just like the original. So I think this version doesn't have very big of a musk note or no musk at all. So there's that difference there a little bit. But that basic edible, you know, gourmand sweetness with the booziness is definitely there in this version as well. But the original smells a little bit deeper, a little bit maybe like deeper in the edible aspect of it. I think the dried fruit in the original is a little bit more prominent. So the next dossier fragrance is inspired by a fragrance that I also don't have but have recently gotten my nose on. In fact, you guys saw that in my New York City vlog. I was in New York City for my birthday with my family. I was on a shopping spree and doing other fun things with the family. And I went into the Creed boutique and I did get my nose on this fragrance, the original that this one is inspired by, which is Creed Silver Mountain Water. And the Dossier fragrance right here that's inspired by it is Muskie Green Tea. So it comes with the informational card just like all the other ones. So let me spray it on this arm. This smells quite similar to the original, though the original was a little bit, I would say, lighter than this one. A little bit more like ethereal, a little bit more yeah, airy. The original Creed Silver Mountain Water is a very green, citrus, fresh fragrance, as you guys know. It's very musky, woody, aromatic, powdery, fresh, spicy, fresh, and a little bit floral fragrance, the original. Yeah, I remember it very well. It was very, I remember thinking it was such a fresh, burst of fresh kind of fragrance that felt very light, airy, perfect for hot, super hot summer days. Original has bergamot and mandarin orange, like a huge burst of citrus freshness when you first spray it. And in the middle, it has blackcurrant, which is a juicy, fresh fragrance note. You guys know it's a juicy, fruity, fresh fragrance note. There's green tea in the middle of the original, and in the base you get musk, sandalwood, galbanum, and then you get petitgrain, which gives it a big green touch. Paired with that green tea note in the middle, the petitgrain in the base, very green. And galbanum is also a very kind of bitter green kind of fragrance note. So the original has a little hint of like bitter freshness as well. And the Dossier Musky Green Tea has very similar notes. It has green tea, bergamot, and mandarin orange in the opening. In the original, just the bergamot and mandarin orange in the opening, but the green tea in this version is in the opening, in the top notes. And in the middle, you get that blackcurrant just like the original, but there's neroli in the middle in this version. And there's petitgrain in the middle of this one. And in the base, you get musk, sandalwood, and orris. Orris is a powdery note, as you guys know. This one doesn't have any galbanum. It's a unisex fragrance that leans a little bit to the masculine side, in my opinion. Yeah, this is Musky Green Tea by Dossier. So yeah, you guys, now for the fragrances that I purchased. I kept purchasing fragrances, you guys. So many fragrances to the point I had to split it into 2 fragrance hauls. I did the luxury version before this haul. I will link that up here and down in the description box. I did all the luxury fragrances in that haul, although I actually have a luxury one in this one as well. It just arrived later. So the first one I want to share with you guys is a fragrance that I have been thinking of buying for the longest time, and for whatever reason I just didn't pull the trigger. This is none other than Tom Ford Black Orchid, you guys. Oh my goodness, I've been sleeping on this fragrance. I don't know what took me so long. It's very much a unisex fragrance. If you ask me, it even leans a little feminine into my nose. Anyway, it's very sweet, very gourmet, very beautiful. So this is what the bottle looks like. As you guys have seen, you guys know what this looks like. Oh my goodness, you guys, I don't need to spray this. It's such a warm, spicy, sweet, woody, earthy, balsamic, amber patchouli, chocolate, fruity, floral fragrance. There is a truffle, black truffle note in here, you guys, which is where the earthiness comes from. So the fragrance composition of this fragrance is super complex. They've revealed a lot of notes actually, which is what they used to do back in the day. They revealed more notes than they do now. So you get a little bit of that earthiness right away when you first spray it, but you can smell the chocolate right away, which is in the base, you guys, by the way. And it has blackcurrant, that juicy, fruity freshness from blackcurrant. There's ylang ylang, there's gardenia, there's bergamot, there's mandarin orange, there's Amalfi lemons, there's jasmine in the opening. Super complex opening. And in the middle you get gardenia again, which, by the way, you guys, give me more gardenia. If it were up to me, I'll put gardenia on all 3 levels, you guys. Seriously, gardenia is such a beautiful white floral. There's orchid, obviously, black orchid, you know, black from the chocolate and the truffle kind of notes, and the orchid part from the orchid. There's a bunch of beautiful fruity notes. There's jasmine, there's lotus, there's spice notes, you know, like a lot of spicy notes. And in the base you get Mexican chocolate, which makes this fragrance super dark and gourmet at the same time. There's a massive dose of vanilla that adds to that beautiful edible gourmet sweetness. There is amber, which is also kind of a resin note that's a little bit gourmet-like, you know. There's incense in here, which adds to that sort of darkness. It's a little smoky from it. And then there are sandalwood, vetiver, and musk. I mean, what more can you ask for? By the way, you guys, this arrived like, was it yesterday or day before? And I sprayed it on. And I was very curious to find out what my husband thought of it. So I had him smell it and he was like, wow, what is that? What was that? I was like, that is something. He thought it smelled beautiful and he definitely thought it smelled very much feminine to his note. I said to him that this was a unisex fragrance and he's like, no way. That smells, to me, it smells very beautiful, something I would want to smell on you, like pointing to me, you know, that he thought it smelled really super nice, super gorgeous. So yeah, I just thought I would let you guys know that's, in his words, that's what he thought of it. Yeah, but it's a unisex fragrance. I mean, you know, men wear it, women wear it, but I am so glad I finally pulled the trigger and bought this beauty. This was the first fragrance Tom Ford ever created. It's a classic. It's a must-have, in my opinion, in any collection. This is Tom Ford Black Orchid. Speaking of Tom Ford, I got another one that I've been sleeping on from the house. What is wrong with me? Honestly, you guys, it's a very dark, sexy fragrance from Tom Ford for women. This is Tom Ford Noir Perfume, you guys. Like I said, it's a beautiful, sexy, dark fragrance, you know. So yeah, this is Noir Perfume. Here's what the bottle looks like. It's a super sweet fragrance, you guys. Sweet is the dominant accord. It's heavy in vanilla. Right away, those two things women love. Like that, when the fragrance is beautifully sweet and has a lot of vanilla, it makes it very feminine. This is Perfume. This is definitely for women, not a unisex fragrance. So yeah, that big dose of vanilla, the sweetness is beautiful. It's ambery, it's woody. There are a lot of woody notes in here. It's very balsamic, it's powdery, it's slightly citrusy. It's got a lot of beautiful warm spicy notes. It's a little lactonic from a particular dessert note I will tell you guys about here in a second. It's a very aromatic fragrance, you guys. It opens with beautiful fragrance notes, you guys. There are a bunch of citruses that I love. There's bitter orange, which is one of my favorite citruses actually in fragrances. There's mandarin orange and bergamot. And there's ginger, you guys. I feel when there's ginger in a feminine fragrance, it really adds that sort of beautiful zing. It's hard to describe. It's one of those things, what ginger smells like in fragrances is hard to describe, especially when it's in the top notes, but in the middle and the base notes have like sweet notes like vanilla, work really well. So this has in the middle a very special dessert note that makes it very, very delicious, if you ask me. Gives it that lactonic accord, you know. It's a dessert that most people here may not be familiar with. It's actually a Pakistani dessert. Some people say it's an Indian dessert. I think in India you can get it too. It's I've had it from Pakistani restaurants before. It is kulfi, you guys. Kulfi is like an ice cream. It has like pistachio in it and stuff. It tastes delicious. It smells even better. It's very creamy, very lactonic from the milk in it. It gives it that beautiful creaminess, that lactonic vibes to this fragrance, which is very beautiful and feminine if you ask me. And that kulfi is in the middle with a bunch of gorgeous floral notes like rose, orange blossom, and jasmine, of course, very feminine. And in the base you get amber, a big dose of amber and a massive dose of vanilla, which really complement the kulfi. And there's sandalwood, that cozy creaminess. It's a beautiful woody note. And then it has mastic. Mastic is a very balsamic, fresh note. It's kind of hard to describe. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It's very feminine. It's very noir perfume, like it's very dark fragrance, sexy dark fragrance. For women, it's very kind of femme fatale, you know. I picture myself wearing this with a black, all black, with black heels, stilettos. Yeah. So next I bought a fragrance I told you guys I would buy in my first of flanker video that I did just a few days ago, episode number 3. Check that out, you guys. My first of flanker, comparing original fragrances to their flankers. That's a tag I created, and I've made it into a series now on my channel. Check that out. I would link it up here and down in the description box. And in that video, I was comparing the entire C line. I own the entire C line with the exception of one. I guess in past tense, I should say. I now own the entire C line, you guys. I can tell you, because I got the one that was missing. It wasn't actually missing because I actually had it. It's just the older formula that I had, the older formulation. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. You guessed it. It is the Si Intense. So I got the new version, you guys. This is the old Si Intense. I think this was created in, was it 2019? I forget now. But anyway, this is the Intense. It's a true Intense of the original C. However, I will say it right away, I've already smelled this. This is not a direct Intense or Intense of the original, the new version anymore. I'll get to that here in a second. So yeah, I die hard love the original. You guys know it. It was my signature scent for the Logan's time. It still is in the summertime, I would say, more or less. And so here is the new formulation. They discontinued this one. Unfortunately, I love her too. She's so good. So now my C collection is complete with this right here, the new formulation of Si Intense, you guys. Now here she is. Now look, take a look at that juice color. It's interesting, isn't it? This one smells like a cross between, wait for it, Si Intense and Si Le Parfum, you guys. They've gotten rid of both of these, the original Si Intense and Si Le Parfum. This was discontinued before this one. So they got rid of these two, and I feel like they brought it back right here. They mixed it together pretty much. It smells like a cross between these two, like a mix between these two. Seriously, that's the first thing that came to my mind when I smelled this. I gotta say though, you guys, woo, this one smells good. You know what? Let me spray this. I'm gonna compare these two. So, so good. So good. And then I'm going to spray the Intense original. So you guys, the original has, of course, that juicy blackcurrant note. There's cassis in the opening. There's mandarin orange. There's bergamot. There is freesia. And in the middle, you get the rose, osmanthus, neroli, artemisia. And in the base, as you guys know, there's ambroxan in the original Intense, which is what gives it that aquatic marine freshness. There's a massive dose of vanilla in the base. There's of course patchouli for lasting power and woody notes. And the new version, you guys, also has of course the blackcurrant. It's a C signature, must have that. And in the middle you get Turkish rose, you guys, not just rose, Turkish rose. And there's Davana in the middle, which is different from the original. It's a bit of a kind of a herbally note, you know, but I don't get that big of an herbaliness from this. If anything, I get a very sweet, even fruitier vibe from this with the florals. And in the base of this, there's benzoin, which smells like vanilla. It's a resin note that smells like vanilla. There's patchouli. And I feel like this has a big dose of amber that they have not revealed. This smells ambery. This smells, you know, even more edible. You know, this smells edible actually compared to the original, in my opinion. There's something slightly gourmand about it. Not really gourmand. I don't want to, it's not there yet, but it's more like an amberiness. Like, you know, amber has a little bit of a gourmand touch to it, but it's not quite, you know what I mean? So like that in this one, this smells a little bit more yummy, like sweet. So this one is a lot warmer and more ambery, like you can tell by the juice color too. It's a little bit more ambery. kind of like the Le Parfum here. The original was fresher and greener than this version, you guys. The original had like a green touch from the cassis, and the original had ambroxan, which makes it very fresh and sort of like, you know, adds to that blackcurrant juiciness. The juice fresh burst kind of adds to that, so it makes this one super appropriate for, you know, hot summer days, even though the bottle looks black. Now the new one you can also wear in the summertime, also something you can wear all year round, but I wouldn't say this one is as perfect for hot summer days as the original was, right? Like the original is. There's nothing green about the new one, this one right here. This is very much more like ambery, kind of like the Le Parfum version. And it's a little bit like more, it's very warm, spicy, soft, spicy, ambery, balsamic, aromatic leaning, you know, those accords more than fresh green accords. Like the original was kind of a balance between. The original didn't have amber, by the way. Instead, the dominant thing that was noticeable in the original was that ambroxan that complemented the blackcurrant. I want both, you guys. Which one do I like more? Don't ask me that question, please. If you twisted my arm, this is a hard question. I would say I like them equally, you guys. I really can't pick it. But I kind of really like the new ambery, slightly almost gourmet twist in the new one. But I like the original too. It's hard. Don't ask me that question. Let's move on. So next I got a fragrance that I always wanted to buy, you guys, and I just didn't buy it because all these people saying, oh, everybody wears it, it's overworn, blah blah blah. I don't care, you guys. It is a classic. It is a must-have in my opinion. However, after I bought this, one of my lovely subscribers let me know that there is an extreme version of this. If I had known that, I would have just bought the extreme version instead of the original. Talking about, of course, the YSL Black Orchid, you guys. This is the original. I have the Intense, and apparently now there's an extreme, not the Intense, extreme. So I have the original, the Intense. Now, of course, I have to get the extreme too, because apparently in the extreme version, there's even a bigger accord of coffee. Ah, that's what I love about this one. This one has that beautiful coffee accord that is not like in any other fragrance, you guys. I don't care it's overworn. I don't care. It is not run of the mill. It is a very good fragrance. It is sexy. It's one of those, you know, very well done fragrances, you guys. And by the way, I got it in a kit. Did I tell you it came in a kit? So the perfume, the 100 ml, the body lotion that goes with it, and a mini version. So like I said, you guys, there's a massive dose of vanilla in here and a massive dose of coffee, which is delicious. It's very sweet, very warm, spicy. It's got some soft spices. It's fruity, it's woody, it's a little bit powdery, it's quite balsamic. It has pear, pink pepper, and orange blossom in the opening. Does it get better than that? There's a big note of coffee in the middle. Because it's in the middle, it's very noticeable. It's there. And that coffee is in the middle with jasmine, sandalwood, and licorice. And in the base, you get vanilla, patchouli for lasting power, cedar, and cashmere wood. It's a gorgeous fragrance. I don't care. I don't care. I'm glad I have this in the fragrance. I finally pulled the trigger and bought it. So yeah, this is YSL Black Orchid. So the next fragrance is a fragrance that one of my beautiful friends helped me hunt down. Lovely Frances from Happiness Sparkles helped me hunt this one down. This was not available for sale in the US anywhere when she helped me find this in Canada, actually. I actually found it on overstock.com, and another place was it, I forget now where else. So now it is actually, you can buy it in the US on those websites. This is Guerlain Terracotta. So you guys, Frances loves this fragrance. So yeah, I've already smelled this. I did get my nose on it. I've already used it a little bit. Let me spray it. If you ask me, the beautiful part in this fragrance comes from that tiare flower and the ylang ylang, and of course jasmine too. Tiare flower is a gorgeous white floral, you guys. I love it. It smells so beautiful. This has in the opening the tiare flower. There's coconut in the opening, which makes it very appropriate for summertime. Like I said, this would make for a beautiful beach scent, a summertime fragrance, period. It would perform so well in the heat. And in the base, you get a massive dose of vanilla with a little bit of musk. The only thing I would say is that the jasmine in here is a little indolic. So if you don't like the indolic jasmine, this is not the one for you. Indolic is jasmine that has a, now I don't want to say it because it's gonna put the picture in you guys' head. Some people call it dirty jasmine, but I wouldn't call it that. It's not dirty. I can explain it, there's a word for it, but I kind of don't want to use that word. But anyway, moving on. It's beautiful nonetheless. The jasmine is a little indolic, but all the fragrance notes are very beautiful. The coconut note in here is very nice in the opening. It doesn't really stay through. Again, a perfect summertime fragrance, and it's being discontinued. This is Guerlain Terracotta. So next I have a very sweet fragrance that Jeremy Fragrance used to rave about all the time, you guys. And it was out of stock everywhere for the longest time. And recently I was on FragranceNet and I saw it and I jumped on it. This is Diessel Loverdose Red Kiss, you guys. The red one. This comes in other colors too, like Loverdose comes in other colors like purple and everything. But the red one is the best according to Jeremy. I think the bottle is quite beautiful. It's like a heart. This one is very gourmand, very sweet. So let me spray this in the air. I'm out of butter cards, you guys. So, this is good. It's a super sweet, fruity, woody, nutty cacao, warm, spicy, white floral, citrusy, with a little bit of patchouli and amber. It's so sweet, you guys. It literally opens with a sugar note. There's literally sugar in the opening, and then that sugar mixed in with that fruity, beautiful fruity freshness from the blackcurrant in the opening. Very good. And then there's a crisp apple note in the opening. There's bergamot, and the gourmand comes from the middle notes, you guys. And there's a nuttiness in this fragrance, and it comes from the hazelnut. Oh yeah, hazelnut's yummy. And there's cacao in the middle, which is where that gourmand touch comes from, with the nuttiness, the chocolate. Think about hazelnut chocolate, you guys. Hazelnut and cacao mixed together kind of gives that kind of scent. And there's orange blossom and apricot in the middle as well. There's patchouli and amber in the base. It's a beautiful, sweet gourmand fragrance. It's technically an amber vanilla, you guys, but a lot of the amber vanilla fragrances smell very gourmand, you know? So yeah, this is Diessel Loverdose Red Kiss. So last I have a fragrance from a Middle Eastern fragrance house, you guys. You know they make amazing fragrances. This one is a very oriental, gorgeous fragrance. This one is Dirham Wardi, you guys. I actually saw Spicy Looks talk about this fragrance, and I had seen this before on Amazon, and I, heard her talking about it, and I thought, well, I really need to get this now because it sounds amazing. Let me... it's a beautiful oriental rose fragrance, you guys. Very beautiful. It has a little bit of a Delina vibe, not really, like more like Delina exclusive, but not exactly. It's a rose fragrance that's very sweet. There's white florals in here. It has fruity notes. There's patchouli in here. There's, of course, like most fragrances, there's a massive dose of vanilla. There's woody notes in here. It's floral, it's citrusy, it's earthy a little bit. It opens with a beautiful rose note with pear, which is a very feminine fragrance note, as you guys know, and blackcurrant. You know blackcurrant. How many times did I talk about it today in this haul? There is orange blossom in the opening as well with that beautiful rose. And in the middle you get the praline, you guys, adding that gourmand touch to this fragrance. There's iris with a powdery touch, and there's jasmine in the middle as well. And in the base you get vanilla and tonka bean, so it's a very deep, intensified vanilla. Massive dose of vanilla. There's patchouli for lasting power. The sweetness in this fragrance really is special with that rose note in here, you guys. It's a very sweet rose, so it's very nice. I love the praline in here and the vanilla, the tonka bean. This smells super feminine. It smells gorgeous. It's a little powdery too. It's beautiful, and I have a feeling it's gonna be beast mode. This is why I love Middle Eastern fragrance houses, you guys. They make amazing oriental smelling fragrances to die for. This is Durham Wardy. So you guys, now's the time to announce the giveaway winner, the Dossier giveaway winner, who will get to pick any Dossier fragrance from the Dossier website. It is... Congratulations! If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow, you guys. Trust me. Please take a minute to do that and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, you guys, because I announce everything there first. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!